How are you guys doing? Hello. Say hello in the comments so I know I'm not just talking to myself. Even if it's just a few people. I love talking to people. How are you guys doing? How do you feel? Are you stressed? Like I've been feeling lately, I have been feeling stressed. These updates. I just posted another update video. If you guys did not see that, I highly recommend that you do watch that. Please let me know if you can hear me as well. Again, I'm still trying out this microphone. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments. That would be great. I am getting so many questions in my direct messages here on Instagram. And so I figured this would be the best place for me to just come on here and kind of answer them to everybody. Because if one person asks a question, that means that more people also probably have that question. So, if you have any comments, feel free to also leave them in the chat box. But I will start reading off, and they are gonna just be South Korea related. It's gonna be the whole shebang. These are things that people are either bringing to my attention or questions that I'm getting asked. One of them is talking about SIM cards. I do have a video all on SIM cards. If you go to my channel, it's called like QR code slash SIM cards. Actually, I think SIM cards is first and then it's QR. But in that video, it describes everything that I know about SIM cards, the way, like the place you can get the cheapest one, all that jazz. Someone was asking me if the CU in the airport, like what SIM cards did they have? They heard that the SIM cards were only 2 to 3 days. And I did not go to that CU and ask, what their plans are. But 2 to 3 days doesn't, in my opinion, make any sense. I don't think it's like possible to have a SIM card for 2 to 3 days. Yeah, I just don't get how that would work. It's probably 2 to 3 months. A lot of people have gotten SIM cards and they only can get like short-term SIM cards if they don't have an ARC. And if you're coming to South Korea, you will not get an ARC right away. It's going to take you a little bit of time for your school to get the ball rolling because a lot of you are either teachers or students. It's going to take some time for you to get your ARC in the mail, but once you get that, you can get like a uh, longer term long-term phone plan rather than one of those little short phone plans. Let's read some of these comments. Hi, 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 hi. I've been watching your videos because I'm prepping to go backpacking in South Korea this month. I just wanted to say thanks for your videos. These are seriously motivating and super helpful. I'm so glad. That is an exciting trip that you have ahead of you. It's cold though, isn't it? It's kind of cold outside. I mean, maybe you're used to the cold. Maybe you're used to freezing temperatures. If you are, go for it. It's gonna be beautiful. South Korea is stunning. The fact that there's just mountains everywhere. We love to see it. We love to see it. But I'm so glad you found my videos. I'm glad you found them motivating and super helpful. Wonderful. How, what are I want to ask you so many questions about this trip. I'm literally like, that's so exciting, but I don't know anything about backpacking. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you pack for that. As many details as you would like to type out. Tell me more about your trip. Where are you staying? Something. Hello, Megan. It sounds nice, but it is 4:16 a.m. So please, yes, sleep. 4:16 in the morning. Where are you? I don't know where you are, but that's early and you deserve all of the rest. I hope you're doing it. I hope you're sleeping so well. Um, Patagonia jacket, yep, and some layers. Hopefully that's enough. If not, they always have like the heat tech wear in a lot of the stores. I'm not exactly the best person to know about shopping for clothes because I don't really shop for a lot of clothes. I just survive off of the clothes that I have. But I know so many people tell me about like the heat tech wear that you can buy in the stores, and it's just like the super. It really holds in the heat. I already have some, so I'm not sure where to get the best ones in Korea. But heat tech wear I have heard is like life changing in Korea. Seriously, life changing here in Norway. Wow, yo, you guys need to sleep. Are you also 4:15? Are more of you guys coming in for 4:15 a.m.? Holy goodness. Oh, thank you so much for the best thermal recommendation. Wonderful. Latte is a horse. Please explain. I want to know. I want to understand your name, but I love it. How are you today? Thank you for asking. I am, now that I'm not incredibly sick, I'm just partially sick. And as in partially sick, it's just it's taking a long time for me to get over the bug that I had. I am doing well. I don't like feeling sick. I don't like feeling like I can't do anything, unmotivated, and the fact that I'm feeling better is like we're here for it. I need the energy. I need to be able to get more videos out there and stuff like that. I don't have time to be lazy. We don't got time to be lazy. Hi, I'm moving to Seoul next month for language school. Oh, so exciting! Thanks for your videos. They're really useful, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you found my. I'm so glad you think my videos are useful and informative. More to come. The next two videos are either street food or like a street food guide to help you guys kind of understand street food more, how to buy it, all that jazz, or the video of like things that I dislike in Korea. I love both of these videos. I'm very excited for both of these videos. I had a poll over on Instagram as to like which one you guys wanted to see first, but maybe I should put that poll on YouTube because more of you guys are on here than you are on my Instagram. Um, Hello, Maxter. I love it. Hi. Hi, Melvin. How you doing? Street food will be great. Oh, this video, I'm so excited. I had a friend come with me. His name is Peter. He's a really great friend of mine, and he was like, help. I don't know actually personally a lot about street food. I was always too scared to like go by myself. I wanted people to come with me. And so I found a Korean friend. Just kidding. I didn't find him off the street. He's my friend. And I took him with me. And I guess I paid for his food. So hopefully he thought it was worth it. But we had so much fun exploring different street food in Yeongdongpo. So I hope you guys like that video. But I'll put a poll on here too because the poll was pretty even actually. A little bit in favor of street food, but I'll be in Korea next month. Would love to meet. It's so sweet. The fact that any of you guys would like to meet me. Your videos are so great. As far as meeting people go, because I do get this question a lot, it's not that I don't want to meet. I want to meet literally everyone. I am just a little overwhelmed these days, especially with how sick I just got. I cannot afford to get sick again. And there's more things in the world than just Rona. And I'm just a little apprehensive of meeting a whole bunch of strangers. And I think I've had, yeah, the most people ask me this week to hang out. Not that I don't want to make all the friends. I really, really do. Maybe I can do a meetup or something like that with like, uh, I don't know, like make some sort of schedule or do something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I would love to meet people. It's just right now it is a little bit rough. But in the future, I'm completely down to meet some of you guys. Probably individual basis is better, especially for like COVID friendliness. But we'll discuss it later. You have a question, Denise. I'd love to answer. Do you need to take multiple PCR tests if you have a connecting flight to South Korea with one stop being in another country? I would love to know where your one stop in another country is, especially if it's Germany, because if you did not see my moving to South Korea first video where I moved and I went through Germany, what a mess. But the most important thing that I can tell you is that you have to look at it doesn't matter what time you get to Korea. What matters is your departure time of your first flight, and especially if you're going to another country, departure time of that as well. You need to make sure that whatever test you get, it is still like within 72 hours of that other departure, especially if it's in another country, which usually the safest way to do this is getting two tests. And hello to all the people that are joining. I'm so excited. I will answer all your questions. I'll go back up. So let's say your first departure, you want to get one test that's within 72 hours. If you go to Walgreens or CVS, you can get one test per day. And so if you have no insurance, for free. If you have insurance, most insurances cover these tests. So you'd want to get one 72 hours before your departure, your first one, and then you'd want to get another one 72 hours before that other country departure to be safe. And honestly, I always get two tests per flight. So that would mean I went to Walgreens and CVS on the same day, 72 hours before my first flight. And then I did that. I would do that again for the other country just to be super safe. You always want to have a backup plan of a rapid PCR test near me so that you could get it the same day if for some reason one of these other tests didn't come back in time. But honestly, if you're already going to get one for the first departure and one for that other departure, one of those tests should come back in time, I would think. There was something else I wanted to say. What did I want to say? Oh, no. Brain, come back. Oh my gosh. I know I'll think of it because I answer this question probably the most out of any question. Muffin tops. That's one of the words that I say. If I think of the other thing I was going to say, I keep like rereading your question like it's going to help. But it's just always better be safe than sorry. Rapid PCR test near you is always a good backup plan. And obviously, personal message me on Instagram if you have any more questions. That's the best way for me to like reply if I'm not coming on here for a live. Got my passport today. Korea, here I come. That's so exciting, Melvin. I'm so excited for you. Okay. Hi, I'm also moving to South Korea. Seoul next month. Let's go. Let's go. I know, eek! I know it's like you get so excited when it's like in the near futura. I'll be studying Korean language at Sogan. May or may not also be interested in going to Sogan. I'm just gonna put it out there. Then hopefully later on able to get a job. Amen. So Sogang University, the reason why I'm also interested in going to Sogang University is because they focus, if you guys don't know this, they focus the most from all the like language learning schools, they focus the most on talking. They really concentrate on like being able to speak. It's a little like it's got everything. Like you got the grammar, you got all the good stuff, but their main focus is being able to have a conversation, which is why I've been interested in going to that school because I really want to practice like and improve my speaking skills. So I'm very interested in also going there. So maybe see you eventually. Wouldn't that be cool? Have you heard about this sentence? My nickname, latte is a horse. I have not. I haven't. I haven't heard about this unless it's like a take on something. I don't know. Okay. Hi, I'm glad I could catch you in a live. Rach and Fluffs. I love that. And I'm also glad that you could catch a live. Dee dee. LOL. It's in Canada, but I was going to watch that video next. Great idea to watch that video. Canada, yes, you have to have a PCR test. So I'm glad you're going. I'm glad you're getting that. But South Korea, you also need a PCR test. That's okay. For those of you who are leaving South Korea and going to another place, make sure. Oh, this is Denise. I remember. Okay. You always want to make sure what country that you're going to, if you have a layover, that you're meeting their requirements as well. So, like when I was coming home from Korea and going back to America, I was going direct, but my friend, she was going to Canada, and Canada requires a PCR test, but America requires just an antigen test. So you want to make sure you're getting a test that also is accepted at your layovers. So that's very, very important, especially if you're going to another country. Make sure you're getting a test that is acceptable for all the countries. I'm so glad you said that because now I remembered. It would have eaten me alive if I couldn't remember what I was trying to say. That's a good question. I have the same one. I'm not going to Germany though. I'll be having my labor in Canada. Look at this. We're all going to Canada. Hopefully you heard my answer to that. But there's the answer for that question. I'm lucky that I'm flying domestic to the last leg to Incheon. I'm lucky that I'm flying domestic until the last leg. Why am I I'm a little out of it right now and I'm like domestic. Right. Domestic. I'm so focused on like COVID regulations and these booster shots that I'm forgetting the English language. Great. love that for myself. All right, I'm going to take a drink of water and keep reading. Okay, with the current situation, as a tourist, would you still recommend to visit South Korea? Uh, Isn't that the question that we all want the answer to? Okay. Quickly, where do you recommend getting a test in the US? Definitely Walgreens or CVS. Make sure that you get on the appointment list ASAP. They're full for like 5 days out now, 6 days out, sometimes 7. You want to make sure you're only allowed to book a test 2 weeks before. I think it's about 2 weeks, maybe it's 10 days. Make sure that you log on that 10, like the 10 days before the day you want to schedule it. You log in and you save your spot because right now testing in the US is hard to come by. I recommend CVS Walgreens. Personally, I think CVS has gotten my results back to me quicker. I am nervous though because so many people are getting tested that it's going to be hard to find testing. And the test might take longer to get back. So that's why I think extra backup tests in a moment in a time like these is a really good thing. Current situation, would you recommend coming to South Korea? Hello from Busan, by the way. Uh, okay. And hello to everybody else that is joining. I love to see your guys' faces. Feel free to ask any questions. Have you had your coffee today, by the way? I have not. I'm still drinking water. If I don't have enough food in my body and I drink coffee, I literally look like a jitterbug. I don't know. I can't stop shaking. So I haven't eaten enough food today. So I need to eat more. Okay, to answer the beloved question of would I recommend coming? So I just found out and I just posted a video, literally just posted a video. If you haven't watched the one that I literally just posted probably 20 minutes ago, I just mentioned in that shots for some people on tourist visas, they said in the last video that they were able to get a booster shot even on a tourist visa. So if you are vaccinated and you're boosted up, or your vaccination within 180 days of when you got either like the final needle, the final needle in your arm within 180 days. If you're in Korea within that time frame, you are vaccinated and it's up to date. If you're not up to date, you can get boosted. Supposedly some like public health clinics allow tourist visas to also get the booster shots. For all the other people who are on long-term visas, you can get whatever shot you want. They'll jab you up. I think everybody can have an enjoyable time right now in South Korea as long as you are vaccinated. If you are unvaccinated, I'm just going to be honest and say your likelihood of getting into places is quite low, because each restaurant, each restaurant has like their own perspective or their own opinion, they can do what they want because they're the owners of it, right? So it's kind of like, I don't want to discourage anybody from traveling because I think traveling is an amazing opportunity. I think you can learn so much. But if you are not going to be vaccinated and you're going to go, you're going to just not be able to do a lot. And I wouldn't want you to be like stuck inside and pay for quarantine and all this jazz if you're unvaccinated. If you're vaccinated, I think you can still go. I think you can still have an enjoyable time. I have only ever lived in Korea post Rona mess. Like, I've only ever been in Korea past COVID. So I never saw like the old Korea. I never saw like, you know, crazy, crazy packed streets where you like can't even get through and you're like elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder. I never experienced any of that, but I still love Korea. I still love living in Korea. Honestly, I think I'm gonna get super stressed out if Korea ever goes back to normal because I'm gonna be like, so many people. There's so many people everywhere. I'm like a little nervous. But I've been in big cities before, so I'll be fine. It's just I'm being dramatic. I would never want to discourage if this is like a now or never trip. By all means, go for it because there's so much that you can learn traveling abroad. Your brain can be like your mind, your heart, your soul is like expanded in a way when you travel overseas that nothing else can do that. But there's also a blessing and a curse, to traveling. Whenever you see a world, you see a foreign country, you experience a foreign land, you can't unsee it, right? So then you go back to your home country and you see the world differently, and people can't relate to you and people can't understand what you're going through because they've never been to where you've been. And so you're having these conversations with like walls, like people who don't get it, and it just bounces off. And then there's like a topic change. So I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. I think if it's a now or never, you should go if you're vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, I don't think now is the time. I think anybody can have a good time. It's really about your mindset. Will it be as amazing as it could be without Rona? Obviously not. Everything is kind of has this weird, you know, everything has a downside now with this like Rona. There's like pluses and or pros and cons. So weigh the pros and cons, but I totally, totally think that if it's an hour and ever, you should go if you're vaccinated. You'll still have a great time. I really, really do. I think Korea is an amazing country that everyone should see, genuinely. I think it's beautiful. You guys ever, I want to make a video about traveler's depression though. Sorry, this is totally me just like speaking out. I want to make a video on traveler's depression though, because it is strong and it is not talked about. And it is a real thing. If you guys would like me to talk about that, add a comment or add a question. because I'm just going to keep going through these questions on the side. Compared to how, and if I miss your question, just retype it because I'm kind of all over the place and I'm skipping around a little bit because I want to keep up to date with what you're saying. I'm going back and forth. So, compared to how it was when you first got to South Korea, are the restrictions about the same or more? Love your quarantine videos. I watch them as comfort videos while I do my skincare. So sweet. I love that so much. Keep that skin looking fresh. We love to see it. Um, there's always some restriction. There's always been something, right? We're going back and forth, but I do think that things have gotten worse these days. It is like when there's always restrictions, it's kind of like, so what restrictions we got going now? Like it's not like a matter of like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I can't believe this is it. It's just like, of course, Korea's coming up with a new restriction. This is also new, and Korea is so like future focused. Well, not future focused. They're more past focused, thinking about like, um, we've gotten this many cases in yesterday, and we want to make that drop today. They're not really thinking about the future. So it's like every day is so like, what are they going to do now? What regulation we going to throw now? So it's not like it's been good or it's not better or worse, anything like it's just the same. Like there's just something. There's always something. And I'm thankful that I'm vaccinated and my vaccine is up to date and all of that stuff, or I think life would be a lot harder. So I would say that we're all just, you just make it work. Make it work. Keep going, you make it work. Na, 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 na. Cool background. Thank you. This is like a old, I tried to put this up just to like give the background look. I don't know. I just wanted to look a little more professional. We got some fancy, very cheap lights. And we're just trying to look a little bit more put together, right? We're trying. Testing is also really bad in Australia with so many people wanting tests. I booked my appointment at the airport. Yeah, a lot of people are wanting tests. Yeah, the sooner you can book any testing, the sooner you can book it, the better. Thank you for that update. Space A, thank you for the update about CVS. You can book 14 days out, and for Walgreens, you think it is 7. Thank you so much for that update. Can you drop your skincare routine because it's glowing? Okay, you guys, I just sweat a lot. It gives me like the Christmas ornament shininess. I think it's just sweat, but I do have a few skincare things that I swear by. So I can always, if you're interested in knowing, I'll go grab that here in a second. Why not? I would love to bump in with any of you. Sorry, I'm going like up the chat. I'm a rookie mistake, Megan. Go down, go down. If F4 visa or student visa considered long term, what are the 2 visas I can apply for? Long term is basically anything, almost everything that is not like 3 months or less. So if it's a visa that's like long term, I am not great. I haven't gotten really good at just like the letters. I believe F4, if you guys want to correct me, believe that's like the what is the word? I can't remember the word. Anything that's longer than 3 months, and you're going to get the ARC, which is like the alien registration card if you're a foreigner. Those are the long-term visas. You can apply like right now, just random, like usually you have to like apply and someone sponsors your visa. Like if you want an entertainment visa, you have to find a company that will sponsor your visa. If you're going to be a teacher, someone like a school is going to have to sponsor your visa to be a teacher. So it's not like you can really sit down in this moment in time and just like apply for a visa. There are obviously some that have special circumstances, like the working holiday visa. But for Americans right now, that is suspended. But I heard like Germany working holiday visa is acceptable. But visas are really super complicated. It's easier if you write like the name of the visa rather than just like the letter and the number. I kind of have like that numbers dyscalculus. And so when I'm trying to memorize numbers, they get messed up. I hated history class because I could never remember the years to save my life because I just kept mixing up the numbers. Do you know if we can get our boosters for free before we leave, if they'll recognize them, or do they only recognize boosters so you can get your booster anywhere. They like Korea has gotten to the point where they will accept and recognize foreign vaccines, period, which is great. So whatever vaccine you get, wherever you get it, bring the documentation with you to Korea. Bring it with you to Korea, please. bring as much paperwork as you possibly can to show that you were vaccinated, and then watch my videos on how to get your vaccine verified, and that will help you out. Totally agree about people not relating. Yes, you're probably talking about the traveler's depression. Not travel the just like the traveler experience. Yep. It's not talked about a lot. When I was young. Oh, okay. Just for fun, people used to pronounce the L. Ah, okay, 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 okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for explaining. Oh, my name's Hope. Hello. It is so sweet to see you here. I don't know if you guys know her channel. My name's Hope. She also makes videos, and I really like her videos too. She lives in Busan, by the way. Um, it is really hard to not be vaccinated here. You are so right. It is definitely different now. Hopefully, everything will pull through, and more tourists can come visit again. I know it is really like if you're not vaccinated, it's gotten to the point where it's like a big major like door in your face after door in your face. Like everybody just wants to be safe, and so they're gonna every restaurant is really taking steps to be like to put any precaution that they can. They don't want people coming in that are choosing to not be vaccinated. So yeah, really recommend that everybody get vaccinated. How do you deal with loneliness or like you said, travel depression? Um, and how about your friend making it and traveler's depression again. So traveler's depression is more so um traveler's depression, and I will get my skincare. I promise I'll get my skincare after this. But this question's really good too. They're both great. Traveler's depression is more so after, from my opinion, or I guess when I speak about it with other people, traveler's depression is more for after you have traveled, but getting depression when you travel for long periods of time or when you move overseas is also extremely, extremely common. Both of these are just not talked about a lot. So it's like you have this high hope, right? You have this like dream, whether or not you're doing it on purpose. You have this ideal or you have this vision in your mind of like what does Korea look like or what does this country look like? And you research it and you start to get this expectation and you go and it either meets that or it doesn't meet that. And when you first arrive in a country, putting quarantine aside, when you first arrive in a country, usually you're on this like high, right? You're like so excited. You're so excited to be in this new country. You've always wanted to come here. You're like, yes, I'm in this country. You look outside your window, you see the Korean flag as you're in quarantine and you're like, holy crap, like this is so cool. Or you finally land in a country and you're like seeing all the signs and the lights and the smells and you get so into it. You're so excited to be there that your life has been waiting for this moment. And then what happens is it usually happens around the 2 to 3 month mark. Usually 3 months is like, I should say probably 3 months is like average. So it can happen anywhere between 2 and 4. And reality hits it, like you really start to miss things about your home country. You become homesick. And it's like a understandable, very reasonable, like of course, you're going to be homesick, right? You're not in your home. Maybe this is going to be your home for now, but it takes a while for a place to become your home. And sometimes, for someone like me who's lived overseas for, a longer period of time, you go through phases. You go through these seasons of homesickness, or you go through these seasons where your heart just like longs to have like the comfort or longs for a person that, isn't near you or longs for just a sense of normal. When you live in a foreign country, you don't feel that when there's people staring at you all the time, right? You don't feel that when all you want is your favorite sandwich or your mom's home cooked meal and you can't get that because your favorite sandwich is in this it's at this cafe that is like 5 minutes from your hometown, but it's not here. And traveler's depression is very, very common. But what's also not talked about is when you get home from a trip. So if you went on a tourist visa somewhere, so you went on a trip that is less than 3 months, you come back and there's a different sense of loneliness. There's a different sense of this misfit because, kind of like what I was saying before, you had this life changing, altering experience. And the people around you just can't get it, no matter what. Unless they were on that trip with you, they can't understand the world that you saw. They can't understand what you went through. They can't understand your trip and the experience that you had, no matter how many videos you show them, no matter how many pictures you show them. They're not going to be able to relate to you. And you start having like empty conversations because either you're super hype and like super excited to talk about your trip, and the other person's like, oh cool, but like you seem like really obsessed with this, like can you bring it down a little bit? Or they're just kind of like, I thought we were going to do just like a great, like, I asked you how was your trip, I was hoping to get the good, oh it was real, like that's simple, it was really good, thank you for asking. Like I wasn't expecting you to like word vomit your whole trip to me. Or you have a really good friend who was like, yeah, tell me more details. But it's one of those, like, you keep finding yourself saying like, well, if you were there, like you should have been there, it was so great in the moment. There's like this disconnect with these people who you felt so comfy and close with before. You had this life altering experience, you've changed as a person, but you've come back and the place where you were is almost like nothing changed, or it's changed so much that you feel like you also don't fit in, because it's like, oh my gosh, you had 5 kids and they're all like in school now. Like it's so different since I last saw you. There's this constant disconnect, and you start to feel even more isolated and lonely. And then you miss the things of this place that you were. You found that place to be home, and that became your home. You made it your home. You had this apartment. You started putting all the knickknacks up, and you miss the way that the house was laid out, and you miss that walk to work. And you miss this new home that you had built, and you come back and now you don't even feel close with the people that you once did feel close with. So sorry for going on this really long rant about it, but it is like, it is such a serious thing. And like YouTube channels and all these travel vlogs and these travel vloggers and travel channels, or people who just travel a lot in general, like they often, you just see like the highlight reel of their life, right? You go on Instagram and you scroll through and it's like beautiful pictures and it's so nice and it's like, wow, their life is perfect and they must just be so happy. But really, they're going through these phases of depression as well. So it's not talked about a lot. And I feel like I should make like a more well thought out, like long video on that, because I think if I were to like sit down and write out my thoughts, it would be better. Write a book, who the heck knows? But that's just something that, like, if you haven't heard about it, I think it's really important to know that, like, if you feel that sense of depression, you are not alone. If you feel homesickness, you're not ridiculous or silly or stupid or weak. You are human. You're very much human, and you were created for community. And when you're without that comfort of that community, it's gonna be hard. Um, God literally created us for community. And so make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that you're being honest with, like how you feel. Reach out to those close friends that you have, no matter where they are. Tell them how you're feeling. Don't do that sadness alone. Reach out to people, right? And be open and honest, and let people give people the opportunity to love you, because people want to do that. It's just sometimes they don't know when or how. Um, but you taking that first step is like super, super important. All right, skin's really good. 잠시만요. Yo, hold on, we're getting skincare. Ah, where is she? Where is she? Okay, we'll do this for now. Okay, this is not all of it. This is just the random things that were right there in my bathroom. Swear by this. It's probably backwards, isn't it? Is it backwards? Okay. The Dr. Jart, everything by Dr. Jart, ingredients, wonderful. We love it. I have to tell you, my skin type is dry. We dry as a bone. We are crusty and cracky if we don't have this. And this is for like extra hydration. This is like my like life-saving moisturizer. I put this on all the time. We love her. And then this is probably what you're thinking of, like, wow, she has really glowy, dewy skin. This is a Skin Essentials Activating Treatment Lotion, Advanced more. We're just hydrating for days is basically what we're doing. This is unpronounceable for me. Robison. Isn't he cute? We love him. We love the little happy little lamb. This just always adds like the nice little dewy glow, I guess. But right now it's just sweat because I haven't put this on recently. um, I usually put this on before I go to bed, and then more Dr. Jart. I use this, and also they have like another moisturizer. But these serums also help my skin look a little less scary. And then for staying young, you always want a tretinoin, and it's pronounced. Thank you. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Um, these are for like anti-aging. This is a prescription though, but if you can ever go to like any dermatologist and get this, my mom looks hot and she is not going to say her age on camera because she'd kill me. But she looks like literally 20 years younger because of this. But again, this is like you need a doctor to prescribe you this. That's a quick skincare 101. Again, I have very dry skin usually. You need to know what your skin type is before you run off and buy like your favorite YouTubers like skincare because their skin type might be different from yours. I also have something that I use to exfoliate my skin. And if you're interested, just message me on Instagram because I left that in the bathroom and I forgot to grab it. Where did I leave off with the comments? Where were we? Emart is closed every other Sunday. Is it the first? Can you guys help me? I never remember. First and second, or first and third, second and fourth. I always forget. I always have to ask my friends. Emart is closed to offer more business to like the small local grocery stores and stuff like that. So if you are ever like, why you closed? Usually it's like the second and fourth, first and third Sunday. Someone help me. Is that what you're talking about? Because that's the only reason why I know that Emart can be closed. I agree. I definitely got burnt out around the 2.5 to 3 month mark for sure. I've traveled my entire life and it does become a lot. I got home and I definitely feel what you're saying. I'm glad that you agree. I'm really sorry that you are feeling that, but you're not alone. Again, like I said, reach out and try to always have like travel buddies in your life that you can message and like talk with. I'm so thankful for like the people who have traveled with me in my life when I can reach out to them and be like, I hate, well, like I miss America or I hate America. You know what I mean? Like all of that, like just you're homesick or you're like travel sick or like you're missing the other place. It's really important to have like those people in your life. And if you need to vent, I will eventually answer your Instagram messages. I'm just really behind. What if you need medical or dental help while you're there? Like if you get a stomach bug, chipped tooth, where do you go? Literally everything healthcare in Korea is so cheap. I where did I go? What was it that I've always just talked to my friends that live like near me or have like good search engines like, hey guys, I usually like will ask for recommendations from friends because especially as a foreigner, I prefer going somewhere where they speak English, or if it's a specialist, it's just a lot easier to go to specialists rather than to just like go to like the hospital or somewhere generic. But hospitals can still be very extra. Everything is a lot cheaper than it would be in the States in Korea. Um, Mm, if there is a specific issue that you have, I'd rather you message me and I can try to ask some people for like help. Or if you want to ask your own friends, like, hey, I have X problem. Is there a place near me? It's just better to find like specialists, and there's so many. I remember that I needed to go to see like a specialist for like women doctor when I was in Korea because I found an infection, and I figured I realized I had this infection that I've gotten before, and I literally tried to type in like with my friend, we were trying to type in like women like doctors, and the amount that were like on my street block in itself, I was like, oh, oh, so there's plenty of options. There's so many options. It's just better to find a specialist. I'm sorry that's probably not as helpful as you would like. Message me on Instagram if you would like more info. Na, 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 na. Where were we? Let's be friends. I'll be friends with anybody. I just don't want to meet up in person just yet, given the craziness of the current circumstance. I am from Alabama, and not many people travel outside the country from there. When I tell people I'm moving to Korea, they can't fathom wanting to do that. So there's definitely a disconnect. Yep. They literally, like, when you I come from one of those hometowns where, like, people are okay to be born, like, go to, like, all years of school. Maybe they venture out for college, maybe, but then they come back to the same hometown, and then they, like, get married and have a family, and they're like, "I want my kids to go to, like, where I went to high school." Couldn't be me. Literally, I could never. I literally like, I no. I'm so not that, and so I totally get it when you're like you can tell these people, like, "I wanna go live on the other side of the world," and they're like, "What about your family? Like, what about settling down? What about getting, like, that real, real big boy job, big girl job?" And I'm like, "Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to Korea I go." Like, that's just not for me. Just because that's for you doesn't mean it has to be for me. Doesn't mean you're wrong for wanting that to be your life or your way of life. Ain't gonna be for me. I'm glad you guys agreed and thought that what I had said before was well said. Thank you. Local clinics. Yes. Same healthcare benefits. Yes. Yep. Many foreigners take advantage of it because it is so, so, so cheap. Local clinics, yeah, that's one I just like if it's like a specific problem, I always will just like guys, Facebook groups are the best. The amount of times that I've typed in on Facebook groups, "Hey, I'm looking for like a dentist. Hey, I'm looking for a blank." And people will recommend like where they went in there. It's great. Hello, hello. Where was I? Don't ask me about food because I never know what I'm gonna eat, but it's probably cheap because I'm cheap. I'm so cheap. Does Neighbor Maps have voice directions like Google Maps? Your destination is 20 feet ahead. So if it did, I never had it on because why didn't I ever? Maybe because so, it just feels weird, like, I guess it would be in my headphones and I'm, like, walking and it's ta I mean, I guess. I only ever use, like, the voice act like, the voice your destination thing is when I'm driving, and I don't exactly need to do that when I'm driving, but the taxis and, like, everybody else who has a car, they've got that volume on full blast. It's, like and every 5 seconds, and if they speed up too fast, ding, 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 ding. So, I don't actually I mean, I know that it works, but I've never had it on because 'cause I'm not driving. But I like don't Google Maps is like I don't know. Maybe you weren't thinking this, but Neighbor Maps, Kakao Maps is the way to go. Google Maps. If you didn't watch my video where I have like app recommendations, uh, I talk about how Google Maps doesn't really work in Korea. There's just always better options than like Google Maps and all. Thanks to your skincare, definitely looking into those products. I'm glad you like them, or I'm glad that you are yeah, I don't know. This one really, really helped, by the way, with, like, evening out my skin tone a lot. Side note. Where was I? Oh, no, where was I? What besides teaching jobs do you see foreigners come so, honestly, teacher, student, entertainment. Hi, Marlena, love you. Um, it's like those are mostly it. That's a lot of people will say like what are some other jobs I can get so that I can come to Korea but I don't want to be an English teacher. Y'all, if you find out tell me. I know of some like websites that you can go to like job search, but it's so hard to find something where they would be willing to sponsor your visa over someone that's already in Korea and they don't need to sponsor their visa. So people who are on like the um people who are students can work part-time and they would prefer to have a teacher come work part-time as a student than have to like uh they would not they usually don't give visas to people who want to teach part-time only. They only give visas to like the full-time teachers. So yeah, it's honestly it's so many students and teachers. Working holiday visa used to be way more common, but they have suspended that for a lot of countries right now because of COVID. So, including America, yay. I think Germany, like I said before, is one of the ones that has it. But working holiday visas used to be more popular and now they're not. Entertainment visas are very, like, if you guys want me to do a video on entertainment visas, there's a lot that people don't talk about. They sound great, but you start to like, you should never sign your soul away. You should never, like, you should be able to have your contract in English. It should never be in fully Korean. You should never be signing a document or a Korean contract. It should be in English. You should never sign like the Korean version, only the English document. And you should never have to pay anything in advance up front, like big sums of money to, like, you shouldn't be paying for your visa. They should be sponsoring your visa, and you'll get scammed a lot because people know that you want to come to Korea. And so if you're overseas, you're not in Korea looking for those visas, they'll try to get your money from you. That's like, if anybody's interested in more stuff about that, please, like, message me, because I don't want you to get in trouble at all. So it's not as great as I wish it was. I wish there was like more opportunity with entertainment visas, but hi, Christian. Oh, there's other comments I missed. I'm so sorry. Coming to South Korea next month, Epic 2022. That's so exciting. I'm so excited for you. Do you know, right, with Epic, you don't know where you're going to teach until they, like, you show up on the scene and they're like, this is where you're teaching. And you're like, wow, interesting. And then, hello, Christian. What do you miss most about USA besides friends and family? Probably the small talk. I really miss, like, the small talk side of things. Like, when I'm in Korea, I just end up being way more introverted than I actually am. I am an extroverted introvert. So I come off very extroverted to people. If I have a job, I love serving. I used to like serve all the time. When I serve, I like love that interaction. I love meeting someone. I love that you've never met them before and you could like make their day brighter just by having a good experience with them. I love all that. But in Korea, like, you just keep to yourself. So I become way more introverted in Korea. And the fact that you can't like just go up to a stranger, like, I want to tell you that your outfit is fire. You look amazing. Everything, head to toe. Love it, girl. Keep doing you're slaying. Obviously, if I said that in English, they would probably get scream and run. So yeah, I really miss it, and you agree. Hope you agree. It's just like, I just wanna smile at a random stranger or an old grandma, I just want to make a friend, and it's just so hard because you just feel, I don't know. You feel way more isolated when you're in Korea, or just lonely, I guess, just, like, the little interactions, you don't have them as much. Last place to go, okay, ramen. It's in Busan. And I'm sorry if you're not in Busan, but I literally would go to Busan just to eat this ramen. Um, it's in Samyang. And where's my phone? I posted them in my Instagram story. So if you go to my Instagram story, I tagged their handle. It's like only got six seats in it. So it's super small. But if you go to like my Busan, I have like these stories that are saved. If you go to my Busan one, and if you click through, click, there it is. It's this picture. And he might not be open right now because he'll go through like these seasons where he isn't open. But if you ever do get to catch his ramen, I love it because the noodles are a little bit like al dente. And so they're like a little bit chewy, but you can ask him to make them like a little bit chewier if you don't like that flavor. But this ramen, he has like a few different options, and I get the blue one. And I love spicy food, but I only get spicy level 1 because spicy level 2 with this ramen, I feel like my mouth's on fire and I have a very good spice tolerance. So if you don't like spicy, you can get no spicy. But I think that is the best ramen that I have ever had. I literally, when I was living in Somyeong, I went there 4 times a week. And he was like, here comes the way cooking again. um, When I tell same for me. When I tell people I'm moving to South Korea, people ask, "Why? What about your family and friends, etcetera?" And I'm like, "Hey, I wanna get in with my life." I know, right? It's like there's always this sense of, is there something wrong with me that I wanna go explore and see the world? Because I feel like uh the people who would encourage you are gonna be, like, really good friends of you, or it's the people that are jealous of you, so then they don't encourage you, because they make you feel like, I don't know, they're, like, sad because it's like they also want to be traveling too, and I don't know, I hate that disconnect. Aloha! Aloha again, happy Friday. Thank you so much, good to see you again. Oh, you got your placement, so cool. How do you feel? Are you excited for Epic? I would be excited for Epic. I mean, it's got the word epic in it, so it it can be epic. It can be epically great or epically challenging, but you will grow as a person and you'll be glad you did it. Um, MBTI. Okay. What is it? I'm like, what am I? I think the last time I took it, I was an ENFP, but I'm pretty sure I'm an INFP now, but like I'm an I/E. I am quite literally in the middle. I need alone time and I need people time. I need both. Definitely lean towards I. So I'm self-diagnosing myself as INFP. um, so you can definitely relate to me on the extrovert introvert thing. I'm Korean, but I'm really enjoy small talks when I lived. Yes, right. The small talks. It's all about the small talks. Please do an entertain. Okay, I'll do a visa entertainment visa video. I will do that. Your girl has got so many. Hope you're an INFP. Girl, when I saw your videos, I was like, we would get along. I love her. Also, I don't know if you're a Christian, but I thought you said something about being a Christian. I'm a Christian as well. Anyways, um, I'm going to uni in June and I worry about making friends. Bumble BFF. I know it's weird. I've said it a million times. Swiping for friends. I know it's strange. I know. Like, I don't want to look at someone's profile and know that I'm like judging them. Like, but you could honestly just close your eyes and go like that if you wanted to. But there are some things, right, that someone's gonna put on their profile that are like, okay, maybe we wouldn't be great as friends. Um, and, like, if you wanna find someone that's like-minded, like, as you, I think Bumble BFF is, like, a really, really great way to meet. Because I was always looking for, like, churches to go to in Seoul. Um, I don't just hang out with Christians, but, like, when there's something that you like, I'm not gonna go out and hang out and party with all the peoples. I would rather stay inside and watch a movie or, like, go see a movie in person because we love some good popcorn. Um Oh, hey, Christians, how you doing? Hi, guys. Yeah, so it's just like it's nice to be able to like if you do want to find that party friend where you go and like you go crazy and you came to Seoul by yourself, like it's a great way to meet those people. I love learning from people. So people who have different beliefs from me. I love meeting up and like you're Buddhist, tell me more about that. I lived in China. I had a lot of Buddhist friends. So it's like I think it's really important that you can meet all different people from all different stages of life. But like I I'm also interested in finding people who are like maybe more my age and like well traveled. So yeah, I think that it's like super a good Bumble BFF is a wonderful way to meet people. Uh, it's just awkward to be doing the swipe thing on people, but I really recommend it. Can you make it ready? I have so many videos of that ramen place on my phone. I literally every time I would come in, he's probably I don't know. Maybe he likes it. I don't know. I hope that that man is living a wonderful. He's this guy. He owns this ramen shop. It's only him. Like it's just him. He himself and him, and it's so good. And every time I'm always like, and I'm like texting all my friends. I'm like, look, I'm at the. I'm like always like, guess where I am? And they're like, he's probably sick of you. It's so good. Um, Maybe I need to, like, hype it down because now you're gonna go and be like, "Wow, this ramen was very much mediocre." I think it's amazing, but I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, it's just okay." If you go, it's edible, so it's really good, okay? Um, uh, English teachers, I would I am not interested in being an English teacher just because the time commitment is so strong. I'm just not interested in giving my life away to school. Sometimes a lot of schools, you end up working 6 days a week. The hours can be really great. People have great, wonderful teaching experiences. I have heard that your teaching experience has so much to do with your coworkers and it has so much to do with the color of your skin. And I hate that that is true. But you can have two people with two different skin tones and they have the same job and they'll have different experiences because they're treated differently. Or usually it's not really from the students, but it's from like parents and it's from coworkers and it's from like the people leading that school. So overall, English teachers are well like respected, or very, maybe I should say, in high need right now, especially because COVID. Everybody is not going. Like, or I shouldn't say everybody. Everybody needs teachers. Not a lot of people want to go right now, given the certain circumstances of the world and like with Korea with quarantine and all these regulations and all these changes. I'm thankful because they give me an excuse to make videos. But overall, English teachers are in high demand, but they are paid well. Paid really well. Average pay, it's so hard to say, and I know what it is in. If you're interested in what the pay is, message me on Instagram. I'll look into it more on my own and then I can get back to you. I'll ask some of my friends who are English teachers how much they get paid. The ones I'm close with, I'm not going to just go around asking people to tell me how much they get paid. But the pay is usually really good and you get your room and board paid for you normally. So you're going to get that opportunity to save a lot of money because you don't have to buy like a place to stay. You don't have to put the enormous key deposit down on the house, which is like you're half like, I don't know, a half of your bank account you're putting as like this key deposit. Um, and then you get to eat at school. So they'll usually provide lunch for you. So like there's a lot of ways to save money as an English teacher. It's a great gig. It's just not a great gig for me when I'm trying to put so much time and effort into YouTube. I ain't got time to work 6 days a week. Five. It's usually five, but there's the occasional six. I don't have time. I love that you're also an INFP, Hope. That makes me really happy. I feel like I've like YouTube crushed on you because I think you're so sweet. And it's like, now we're the same person. If you're even here. Hi. Pro tip, you should stay away from Korean plant called Minari. Um, there have been many cases of liver flukes. Oh gosh. Kind of crazy if you think about how popular Minari is in Korea. Really? I did not know that. Thank you for the update. Um, I will literally go anywhere for good ramen. Yeah. I'm so about that statement. Truly. I'm trying to think of like good ramen in Seoul because you're probably in Seoul. And it's just like you tell me what's your favorite ramen, and immediately I go to the Samyang place. Like there was just no place that topped it. If anybody has got good recommendations for ramen places, we all are interested. um The raw cow liver. Oh, the raw meat. I tried it once. I tried it in America at a Korean restaurant. I tried the raw. It freaked me out. You guys are gonna hate me. I'm just gonna watch like the number of people watching just drop when I say this. I like steak like medium well. We like it brown. Like the inside, blood, the pink. I just like I like it I would rather it be more chewy than I see blood. When I see blood, I'm gonna faint. Like, I'm not gonna faint. I'm strong. Am I gonna faint? I guess I haven't seen that much blood in my lifetime, so I can't tell you guys for sure. But I saw two people go. I told you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't pay attention to the number. I don't care who's watching. I just like I don't like the blood. So I just prefer things to be cooked. Makes me feel good on the inside. Um, So I'm not gonna get that anyway. But yeah, let's stay away from the raw meats. I like medium well. I do too. if I wasn't sitting on the floor, I would start doing some laps, some victory laps. I love I love a good steak, and I'm probably just craving steak because Korea don't got steak. Korea, I'm not gonna pay an arm and a leg for a steak. We can't do it. I don't got it. I don't have that in my budget. I don't have really anything in my budget right now. We're broke, but we're making it work. Um, Starting rate is 2 million won a month. That is amazing. Thank you for explaining. I've seen like 1.2 million to 2. I've seen above 2. I've seen a lot. I've seen it has a lot to do with your experience, what your background is. So wide variety of possible starting rates. But always look around because there's usually a job that's going to pay you really well, especially when they're in this high need. The need is so high right now for English teachers. I have to take an English test. I want to be a native speaker like you right now. I don't even know how well I would do on an English test right now. I'm gonna be honest. I was in a bookstore in Samyang. Guys, I love Samyang. I go there all the time. I went to a bookstore there and they had like an English test book, and I think it was like level 5. And my friend was like, "Look, look, look, read some of the questions. Like, can you do it? Can you do it?" And I got some of them right. I did get some of them wrong, but I was like, "I have never seen this word. I have never seen this word. No one has used this word around me. Like this, you guys, the English tests that you have to take, like if you actually spoke like those English books did, literally so many of us would just look at you as an American and be like, "Huh? Like how they what? How? Huh? What are you saying?" Like you guys have to study so hard, study these crazy words, and then you're never going to use them. Literally crazy. I feel like I would not do that well if I had to take a test in like the higher level English books. Like I feel like I would not do actually that well. And I don't think I'm like my vocabulary is I. My vocabulary is average. Above average, we'll give myself above average, but I still don't think I'd pass a test. Um, they're hard. Hello, hello. Hello. How are you guys doing? For those of you who just joined, I missed a question. I did. I sometimes wonder about teaching English. Oh gosh, reading. I sometimes wonder about teaching English seriously. It crosses my mind, but I wonder how transformative the experience would be on my lifestyle. I'm not sure what your lifestyle currently is, but you do get paid well. I just don't think that my teacher friends have a lot of time to like enjoy their life. Not that they're not going to enjoy their life. They're still going to have a great time. Their weekends, like they have a great time. They really do make the most of their time. I'm someone that's pretty like lazy and I need that like decompression time. I need that time to like be home, vegging and not doing anything. So I feel like when I teach, I put so much like since I do lean towards introverted, I'm going to put so much of this energy into teaching. I'm going to put myself out there and then my energy battery is going to be drained from teaching so much that I feel like on the weekends I'm not going to want to go anywhere. I'm just going to want to like stay inside and veg. So that's the only reason why I don't feel like I could teach, but I just feel like it would be really hard when they expect a lot of you as teachers. But I'm also not good at balancing like when to say no to people. I make all of the plans and then I'm exhausted because I didn't give myself time. So I just feel like teaching and I would not get along very well. But if you are thinking about being an English teacher, it's a great job. Oh my gosh, the amount that you get paid and like usually you're teaching younger kids, so that's going to be a bit easier than like having to come up with these like extremely difficult lesson plans that are like, you know, going through all these grammatical structures. Like we're talking about fruits, and not always, but we're covering more basic sentence structure, basic words. So that can always be super fun when it's not like too challenging. But that depends on what grade level you teach. And it also depends on like where are you teaching? Are you around like I mean, as experience goes, where are you teaching? Are you in a place where you're able to go places and you still feel like you can see Korea? Or do you feel stuck because you're out in the middle of the boondocks and to get to like Seoul or Busan, it's going to take you a while? Or do you prefer to be in the countryside and you don't want to be up in that city life because it's not for you? There's so many different aspects to think about, but it is a good setup for that pay, especially. I just don't have one of the requirements to apply for it. You're not allowed to apply to be a teacher? Is English not your native? What is the requirement that you don't have? Now I'm curious. I know some people don't have like a degree and then they can't. But what do you mean? If you come to Melbourne, I can buy you a medium well steak. I bet you. Well, how would you say the steak is where you are? Is it worth me coming all the way to Melbourne to get? Yep, that's why the teachers are in. What is your I just got asked. I think I'm an INFP now, but I used to be an ENFP. So I'm I/E. I actually don't even remember. I don't remember what the letters stand for. I know it's extroverted and introverted, but then it's stuff that I don't remember. I know one of them is like, I'm not going to say them wrong. This is recording and it's going to be saved onto my YouTube. I'm not going to get it wrong. If you want to tell me the different options and what they mean for INFP, that would be great if you guys remember. Heading back home, but now needing a 24-hour test prior to boarding. Do I go to Gangnam, like where you get the booster? So in my I think I have an old video about how you can get a uh, a free COVID test to leave South Korea. I don't recommend doing that anymore. People were doing that and it was working. And these days, things have changed so much. Not a lot of people are saying that that is working. So it's better to go into the description box of that video. And I have an address and a place in Gangnam that I like have people that I know that went to and tested, and the results came back within 20 minutes. And they didn't speak a lot of English, but you can make by. I have footage of that. I should make that video. That would be so fast to make. I'll do that. Oh my gosh, Dan, you did not have to do that at all. Thank you so much. That is the cutest. I don't know what it is, but it's so cute. Look at him in the chair. Oh my gosh, I love it so. Thank you so much. I just love the sticker. But the you did not have to do that. Thank you so much. I truly am broke, so any, like, money, it's so sweet of you. Thank you so, so much, Dan. That means so much to me. Um, I will make a quick video on how to do because I went with my friend to get that, test done. So I'll make a quick video, and I'll add that to the list because it shouldn't take me long of where you can go to get tested, what it looks like, what the process is like. Super fast within 24 hours, but the place is listed in the description of that, like where to get a free COVID test to leave South Korea. I think that that video is at least 6 months old, so it would be a little bit like farther down. Great mediator. We have a bunch of mediators in here. We're all friends. That's why we get along. That's why we all talk. I love it. I literally like now I'm like sitting on the ground with my feet laid out. Like I'm having a great time. I love talking to you guys. It's so nice to finally feel better. Um, four-year degree and must be from an English-speaking country. And now they also prefer if you have the TOEFL. Yeah, I know. At least 20 hours of in-class experience. Interesting. Well, if they want to keep raising those standards, go for it. But less and less people are going to be able to apply. So up to you guys. I mean, Korea, like up to y'all for whatever you want to make the requirements, I guess. But wow, I didn't know that you had to be from an English-speaking country. I did not know that. That's very interesting and kind of sad if people worked really hard to like learn English their whole life and then they can't do that. That really sucks. Is there any other language that you can speak besides English, Spanish? I know American Sign Language. I actually studied sign language in school for, let's see, 3 to for 5 years, I studied American Sign Language, and I'm a very kinesthetic learner, so it was really easy for me to remember it. So I still have deaf friends. I almost thought about being, an interpreter, but I was too scared to make mistakes, interpreting, so I kinda got scared and I, like, I was in this really good program, and then I had to, like I just felt like I was just too scared to keep going, so I was like, "I'm just gonna know sign language for myself, and we're good." So, it really comes in handy when you're in America. It doesn't come in handy when you're in Korea. But if I ever see deaf Koreans signing, I get so sad because I wish I could talk to them, but if you guys did not know, uh, it's American Sign Language because it's American, so I cannot speak Korean Sign Language because it's different. Some people don't know that, actually. Um, they're like, "Wow, you can talk to anybody that's deaf in the whole world." I wish. That would be my superpower, actually. People have asked me that a lot. "What would your superpower be?" My superpower would be that I could speak any language and I'm fluent in all of them because I feel like language barrier is one of the hardest for me. Like, it's so hard for me to learn languages, but being able to overcome that is such a beautiful opportunity, especially for, um, talking to people about, like, my beliefs and stuff. I love to talk to people, but usually it's, like, hard, when you don't know each other's languages. So or the other person knows English, but it's not their first native language. I always hate language barriers. Oh, it makes me so sad. I don't have a uni degree. No! Which makes it hard in every field, yeah. But I'm a fighter. I will get it. Yes! 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 Fighter, we love it. Fighting. You got this. Um, I have a friend that is in the same boat as you, also hasn't graduated. She's working on it though, but she really wants to. She was interested in becoming a teacher, but then it's like, without the degree. Um, I love how many people are INF or INFJ. I'm INFP. What is that? I gotta look it up, guys. Or is it? No, that's the. That's the I put an IMBD. Personality type. Tell me about myself. Or I'm not ENFP, I'm INFP, but I used to be this one. ENFP. INFP. We're the mediators, but what do they stand for? What do we stand for? Empathy. Oh my gosh, I'm so empathetic. Yes. Speaking the truth. I usually say how I feel and how I speak, or what I say. I just always say it is as it is, and I will say how I feel. And I should be more worried about the reaction that people will have, but I don't. I'm very open minded. Wow, I love this. Self-isolated. Amen. Put me in a room, lock me up, I'll be fine. Sorry, I got distracted, guys. Um, yes, things are changing extremely fast in Korea. It is like every day. And I usually try my best to update you guys as fast as I can, but I was really, really sick, like I said. Sometimes my throat still, when I'm talking for long periods of time, I'm probably kind of pushing it right now because I haven't been able to talk for like a whole day in a really long time. But um, it changes so fast. I'm trying to get these like update videos to you guys, and it's like as soon as one goes up, another one has to go up because another one, da, 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 it's like never ending. So, ooh, super chat. Thank you again so much, Dan, for just making my day. That really made my day. Um, cool skill to have. I'm assuming you're talking about sign language. I love knowing sign language. It's so cool. Uh, oh my gosh, I love that everybody's putting their personality types. I don't remember personality types though. I'm like, there's also like the type, type. Do you know what I'm talking about? Type one, two, uh, three. I'm a type four. Does anybody else have types that they are? I I'm a type four because I have a lot of baggage. But I'm also a type eight, I believe, and a two. I'm like 482. Those are like my top. You are an ISTJ. Wow, these are so I forgot that they have, like, these in-depth reviews or descriptions. Like, I can learn all about you guys just by you telling me what you are. INFJA? What's the A? Is that the grade you got in school? What's the A? That's cool. Did I miss some? I probably missed something. I'm really good at missing things. Oh my gosh, you're an A too. What's the A? Guys, I don't know about these. ENFP? ENFP like me. But I'm an I N slash E. I'm I slash E. I used to be the E. Assertive. So what's A versus it's slash A or non-assertive? What's what's the other are there other hyphens? Um which one is like there's like the more feelsies and more judgmental? Is that the J versus the P? Is that what that one is? No, F is the feelings. Guys, I'm just looking it up. Since we're talking about it, I'm getting excited. The different there it is. Thank you. Okay. Intuitive versus thinking. Wait. Yes. Intuitive versus thinking, feeling, observant versus judging. Observant, this doesn't seem right. Something seems wrong. If anybody is better at these and can maybe I can put 16 personalities breakdown. Break break it down now. I need help. 'Cause these are like fun. I enjoy these. Gotta be a breakdown. Oh, here we go. I'm so sorry it took this long. You guys are probably like, girl. So we've got extrovert versus introverted, sensors versus intuitive. Wow. Okay, what am I? IN. So I'm an N. Prefer to focus on possibilities of wow. I could make it bigger so it doesn't look like I'm about to like lean into your guys' face. I could do that, couldn't I? Okay. Um I want to keep the chat to the side though so I can see what you guys are saying. Um So I'm the N. So prefer to focus on possibilities of the big picture, easily see patterns, value, see creative solutions to problems. So that's versus realistic people who focus on the facts and details and apply common senses and past experiences to come up with interesting. Maybe I need to take this test again because I feel like I'm pretty realistic, but I do see the big picture. Oh, no. I do focus on possibilities and the big yeah, I'm definitely the N. And then we have thinker versus feeler, ENFP. Yes, I'm so dang emotional. I feel everything. I'm always crying because I'm so empathetic. Like, you tell me your story, it's not as much if you start crying, it's just you telling me your story, and I put myself in your shoes, and I'm crying. The amount of times I've cried over cups of coffee when I meet people, lots of tears have been shed. Um, Rap monster. Rap monster. Rap monster. RM. I told you I don't know much about K-pop. I really don't know a lot about K-pop. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm an F, so tend to be sensitive. They decide based on own personal values, amen, and how others will be affected by their actions, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Say it again for the people in the back. Hello, how am I today, Sammy? Hi, Sammy. How are you? I'm doing well. My throat is still a little funny. I probably shouldn't be talking, but here we are. How are you? How's everybody doing? How are you guys? Genuinely. How are you doing? Do you need a vent? Do you need a hug? I'll send you a virtual hug. I can do that. All right. J versus P tend to be organized and prepared, like to make and stick to plans and are comfortable following most rules versus P prefer to keep their opinions open, like to be able to act spontaneously and like to be flexible with making plans. Definitely a P. I'm definitely a P. I did not see anything about these Dashin? The dashes? The A? Oh, here's dashes. Dash T, dash A. Is this like we wanted more personality types, or is this just like a random edition that I never saw, or are these only for these types? Okay, I'm so sorry. I am extremely distracted. Thank you. I hope my throat gets better too. Let me get back to why I got on here because some of you guys, um, I'm having a great time, trust me. But I want to also make sure that I answer some of these questions that I've been getting in my direct messages because that's also super important. Um, Ow, my knee. Guys, I'm old. Okay, so for PCR tests to go home, I really recommend the video, like I said before, how to get a free test that I have. How to get a free test to go home. Don't watch the video. Just go to the description, find the place in Gangnam. At this point, Gangnam or the airport, both are good. You could make an appointment to get to the airport early and literally the same day. You could just get there early, make the appointment for the same day because antigen tests, if you're going back to America and you're not stopping anywhere else, you can get an antigen test, which is way cheaper and the results come back, I think, within like an hour or two. Um, so at this rate, airport or that place I mentioned in Gangnam, the place in Gangnam is cheaper. It's the amount that it was, I believe it was 60,000 won. I want to say that the test was 60,000 won, but I cannot quote myself on that. Other questions. You always want to have printed copies of everything, 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 and anything. If it's going to be your PCR test, if you're going to Korea, bring your actual, like, authentic vaccine card, bring the real thing, but then also bring copies of them in case you were to lose one. At this rate, anybody can get vaccinated anywhere and it will get approved in Korea as long as you have the documentation. So you can get boosted anywhere, you can get vaccinated anywhere. I just personally recommend that if you are not boosted, you wait to get to Korea to get boosted because you need to go to the video that I posted before the last one. So I just posted a video today and it's called I'm Like This because we need to be in this together. And I'm wearing this t-shirt because I literally just put this back on. But that video is going to be in the comment section. Hopefully people are going to put updates as to like how things are going. But in the last video that I made that looks like this one, this is where I'm hearing a lot of good stories as to where people on tourist visas were allowed to get vaccinated or get boosted. Not vaccinated, I heard boosts. Not sure about the vaccinated, but tourists were allowed to get boosted at some places and not other places. So if you're interested in getting your booster shot, or if you're coming on a long-term visa, you can just get boosted no matter what. But I recommend that you get boosted in South Korea because if for some reason they were to implement a second booster shot being mandatory because the first booster shot expires or whatever, you would have the full 6-month time to like live out that booster shot because like maybe you're only going for two school semesters or maybe you're only going on a tourist visa. Make sure that when you're in Korea, you are either up to date with your vaccine, as in it's within 180 days of when you were like getting your final shot, or you have gotten boosted as well. Did that make sense? The video I just posted where I'm like this, we talk about it more if you have any more questions. That's another question that I got. I just recommend you get, if you can, get vaccinated in Korea because it's just going to be easier if you're planning to stay in Korea for a while. If you're just going on a tourist visa, you can just get boosted now if you would like. It's just a matter of like if you're looking to go back and forth to Korea and you want to have potential quarantine exemption, the only way you would be getting exempted from quarantine is if that needle went into your arm in Korea. PCR does Korea require? Which type of, oh, you're putting, I see you hit enter. Okay. Which type of PCR test does? From my understanding, most PCR tests are RT PCR tests. You just want to check your confirmation email to see. From my understanding, I always went to Walgreens and CVS, and it was always the RT-PCR. It's very hard to find a non-RT-PCR if it's one that's going up the nose, and I know that they want you to have one that, like, goes up the nose and is the I think it's just the nose and the throat, but definitely nose. Which type PCR to acquire from the US? So, yeah, just go to Walgreens or CVS, and that's where you can get, that's where I recommend you go, because that's where I went every time I went. Bible verse that gives you chills. Ooh, mine is Revelation 9:6. Let's see what this is. And in those days, people will seek death and will not find it. They will long to die, but death will flee from them. Wow, that is like very, very chilling. That is a really good question. I've never had someone ask me that gives me chills. Honestly, the whole book of Revelation, we could just copy and paste all of that for the chill category. But also the assuring, like, assuring category of like, it's nice that we have a hope in something to come with Christ. But chills, man, that's a good question. I have to think on it. I'll add that, and I really want to add that to my bucket list now of like verses that give me chills. I like that. My favorite Bible verse is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. That was my college Bible verse. I put that on my Bible, or my brick. We got like this brick that we can make in college. We had this like brick we could engrave and donate to, and that's what I put at my university. People all over the world are suffering from COVID-19. It is so sad, but kind of crazy that we all relate to something. Like across the whole world, we all have this like connection. And it's so crazy to know that we have this like common thread, and people who are suffering because of something in one country. Like, how on the news I don't watch the news because it's depressing and it's full of sadness, and I don't need any more of that in my daily life. But uh when you would watch videos, or like maybe they would pop up on a news feed or something of like this natural disaster that's like happening in some other country, and your heart is kind of like, wow, that's so sad, but it's like kind of like it just comes and goes. Or if it's really bad, you could pray for them or you try to donate or something, but you don't understand what they're going through. This is like we're all going through this across an entire globe. It kind of blows my mind when I like think about it, how we're all suffering over something, but we're doing it like together. It's almost weirdly comforting. Um, yeah, it's like creepy that I can talk to my friends back at home and they're telling me like, oh, well, COVID here and COVID over there. It's crazy. Can unmarried couples quarantine together? They cannot. You can only quarantine together if you are able to show that you are family or married. So, like, you have to have documentation to show that you guys are like together if you were married, but you are not. Sadly, you cannot. But fun fact, people get really upset when I say that. Fun fact, married people, even if they're sharing the same wall, I meant to say sharing the same bedroom, and then I wanted to say sharing the same four walls, and then I put the words together. Hello, you're always here. I love it. Good to see you again. You still pay the same price if you're sharing a room or if you're not sharing a room. So there's no like, hey, let's room together and then we can save some money. You're going to end up paying the same amount of money. But I think I'm assuming it's just for COVID reasons. Like if one of you gets sick and then you give it to I don't know, but only married people can quarantine together. I think it's also for like safety, actually. If someone was trying to like bring, I mean, it's really sad, but it happens. But like if someone's trying to go to Korea and like bring a prostitute with them, which really, really sucks. But I'm sure it's for people's safety as well. Amen. That's so cool. I'm assuming you're talking about the brick, I hope. What uni did you go to? Just because I don't want you guys to be able to find out my past. I'm not gonna say what uni I went to, but I did go to school in the north. I'm from Ohio. So, well, I'm from Connecticut and I lived in Ohio. But I went to school in Ohio. Strange reality now. I know it's kind of crazy the reality that we have now. By the way, even though you are sick, you still look. Thank you so much. I'm much better now. I don't think I can call myself sick anymore. I just have like the leftovers kind of going. So I'm not really sick, but thanks. I'll take the compliment. um, some other questions, by the way, that I have gotten. Oh, you guys can add to my poll because maybe you already did it on Instagram, but I had a poll up of, oh, it's still there. It's leaving soon. So if you want to come to this poll where we talk about if you want me to put a video up about street food, a guide, or if you want me to put up a video about dislikes in Korea, if you go to my Instagram story, it's still up there. You can vote which video you guys would like me to upload next. My Instagram handle, by the way, is linked below, but it's the same as my name, at Megan Osten. You've already voted. Thank you, Sammy. Yeah, I'm glad I'm no longer sick too. Thank you so much. Questions, more questions, more questions. Oh, in quarantine, if you have to quarantine in a government facility quarantine, make sure that you are being, what's the word? Make sure you're standing up for yourself and also like don't be afraid to call and ask questions. Some people are like, I like one of these one of my friends on here is saying that they're getting fish, but they're vegetarian. And they told them, hey, I'm a vegetarian, and they're still getting fish. And if you can't eat the food that you're being given, it's like you're paying about $100 a day, which like if you take away the fact that you're like living in a place and you're using their water and you have a head over your like you have a roof over your head and you're using their TV and electricity, like that's still an expensive meal. Like we could still call that $20, $15 per meal that you're paying. So if you don't like it or it's not if you don't like it, it's a little bit harder, but like if you can't eat it, it's going against your dietary restrictions. Please call them and tell them because like you deserve that. You deserve to be able to eat the food that you're being given when you're paying about $100 a day to stay in like kind of dirty hotel room. So just make sure that you are like standing up for yourself, okay? Don't have Instagram but street food videos. All right, I'll put you down. Put you down for street food, Helen. um, my daughter is able to switch from Western food to regular Korean food during. Yeah, so I'm assuming that I'm taking a guess. I'm assuming she stayed at the Grand Hyatt. If you guys go to the Grand Hyatt, that is where all my skincare is on the floor and it's like in the way. If you go to the Grand Hyatt, they're really good at accommodating you food wise, but that is also where there is no window. And if you guys didn't see my quarantine vlogs, yep, I knew it. Grand Hyatt. I really struggled without having the window. So the food wise, like you can make so many requests. Like at one point I was like, I need fruit. Like I need fruit. And every meal after that, I got fruit. So make sure make sure you at least try to call. But from my understanding, the Grand Hyatt is the only place that really did like those specific requests. The other places, you just got to tell them like, I have this allergy and I can't have this, or like I'm vegetarian. Please stop giving me this. You deserve that. So call and don't be scared to call. It's intimidating, but don't like try not to be scared because you deserve to be able to eat when you can't pick your meals, right? Um so I did not bring an air fryer. I don't recommend bringing, I just thought they would, I don't really recommend unless it is a Korean plug, like it's at a Korean electronic device. You bought it, it's from Korean, it's meant to be plugged into like a Korean wall. The only reason I brought that pot was because the food is super cold, but I also knew that the plugs. Okay. So the reason why I brought the pot is because I knew there are American plugs. So I guess if there was an American plug, you could use the air fryer and the American plug. I just know that an air fryer would take so much power to do its thing. And for you're probably going to end up shorting some circuit if it's not plugged into like the correct plug. Like a converter would not work with an air fryer. It's just way too powerful. The pot, I only ever put it on low because it was so low and I was turning it on and off of low just to make sure I didn't fry anything, even though it was plugged into an American plug. Um, I just really don't want you to end up blowing a circuit. And an air fryer just takes too much power. But the pot is okay because, again, American plugs, I was using it with American plugs, but I still was only using it on low and I would turn it on and off of low so that nothing would ever fry and it wouldn't get, there wouldn't be a lot of electricity because low is so not powerful in America. And when you plug it into a Korean plug, which has more electricity coming in, and you put it on low, it's getting hot fast, but it's not putting too much electricity into the pot, which is why I was safe. So that's why the pot changes lives, guys. When you don't have hot food for 2 weeks, it is like hell. So the fact that I could cook stuff with that pot, it really was like 10 out of 10 would recommend. Pot is linked below. I always have like my favorite travel like necessities linked below in all of my videos if you guys are ever looking for some travel things or interested to know what I bring when I travel. What do I do for a living? Literally YouTube. I put my all into YouTube. The reason why I'm able to travel is because I save up so much and I work so hard when I go to the States. And right now, like my dream is to really make YouTube full time. And I've studied it so much. I have studied how to do a YouTube channel. I know I could start a second channel on all of the information I have with editing and like how to do YouTube and all that stuff. It's just a matter of like you have to keep working hard with YouTube to see results. And I'm so thankful that I've seen the results that I have seen. I'm so thankful that I was able to become monetized within a few months. Um, some of that is luck. A lot of that has to do with you have to make searchable content when you start off. And I just got really lucky that the PCR test was something that people were searching and there were no other videos, and that's what birthed my channel. Was like I want to help people trying to come to Korea. I want to help people who don't know how to like travel overseas. And so as a result, I started making these videos and I was like, wait, I love doing this, and now I want to do it full time in the future sometimes. So I'm going to keep trying my hardest with these videos, guys, but eventually the money is going to run out. I'm going to have to go back to America, save up some more, and hopefully come back to Korea quickly because it personally feels like my home. Korea feels like home to me. But unless this channel were to like randomly take off, or I'd be able to figure out some way, to make this like full time, I gotta go home. I gotta do what I gotta do. The money runs out eventually. Um, hope. Yep. I know like it is. I'm sure you understand. It is so YouTube is like there is a lot of things that you can do, um, but it's a lot of hard work up at the front end. There's so much hard work, and it's like a step by step where you have to, keep reminding yourself that this is worth it. And slow growth is still growth. And one day, like I wholeheartedly believe that if you keep trying, uh, your future self thanks you. Like the number of videos I've seen people say, like, thank you, me, for not giving up. And it's never going to be easy. And I don't think anything in easy ever tastes as sweet. as when you really work for something and you see the results. I remember being so excited when I hit my first 100 subscribers. I like jumping around, freaking out, and uh, it's just something to be really proud of. But you can't give up. You can't give up. So even though I am nowhere near being full time, I am thankful to make some money here on YouTube. And this is literally this is my source of income, which is not a lot. This is my source of income right now, is just helping you guys. So um, let's quickly see. I missed some of these comments. Questions, sorry. I saw you bring a pot. Yes, sorry. Answered that. What if you test positive when you land? Do they send you to a hospital to quarantine? So I don't know what I got. I think I got like uh a quick bug of something of some kind, because nobody, I just called and said I didn't feel good, and I have a fever, and they just brought me Tylenol, and that was it. For people who do test positive, from my understanding, they were brought somewhere else, but I've also never seen a video on that. I think what I've seen more of is like people will get sick and they kind of like let the person see how they feel like in a week. And it's kind of varied on like your symptoms. Are you having like a hard time breathing? Like they don't want to have to take you somewhere if you could just get better on your own. But if you guys know anybody that's actually tested positive, please let me know in the comments like what happened to them, because I've only ever known people to get sick and they just stayed. They never tell you that your test is negative. So if anybody knows what happens when you get tested positive, unless your symptoms get really bad, I'm not sure what happens. But I was just brought Tylenol when I got really sick. So um thank you so much for all of these wonderful, sweet comments on my channel. I'm trying really hard. I think anybody, if you're interested in starting YouTube, I think you should give it a shot. Even though it is hard, if you love something that you're doing, like you got to keep going for it. Um, let's see. I'm still super worried about when I head over in July. So much documents, mostly if the IMQ. Am I crazy? Oh my gosh, Isaac, thank you so much. I will comment on what you did in Isaac in 1 second, but IMQ. I'm not sure what I am. I see just like MIQ. I'm assuming you mean like an embassy or something like that. And winning a room on return. If you don't mind, just is it Ciara? Just give me a few more details, because I don't know the letters. I don't know what MIQ is and all that stuff. I want to know what you're saying. Thank you so much, Isaac. I sincerely hope you're able to achieve that dream. It's admirable. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Um, what do you think we can do to promote your channel more? Stop. You're so sweet. Truly, the best way to support anybody's YouTube channel, and please think of the people that you love, that you're subscribed to, the best way that you can help them. Watch the video till the very end. Don't click out, watch the whole thing, because that's the biggest factor with YouTube videos is watch time. How long did the person watch? If you come back and watch it a second time, just walk away. Put your phone down, walk away, leave the phone there. You can even put it on that little double time speed, just to get it through a video. That helps people, that helps the algorithm know that people are liking your videos enough that they want to watch the whole thing. Commenting on a video, showing that you put interaction, helps get a video out there. Liking the video, more interaction is really good. Don't skip the ads. Supposedly, I don't know much about this, but if you let the ad play, somehow I get paid more, but I think it's like pennies, but pennies add up. But if you don't skip the ad, or if you click on the ad, supposedly people get paid more. But it really is about watch time, commenting. And obviously, if you guys ever like my videos, or if there's a video that you found helpful and you know somebody else that's coming to Korea, obviously send it. That's going to help. But what you can do is just watch the whole thing, comment, like, make sure your little like bell notifications are on for my videos and stuff like that. And do that with all of your like channels that you love, because it helps them. Um, Thank you for asking. That's such a sweet, sweet question. Thank you so much. Hello, hello to all the people joining. Managed isolation and quarantine. Okay, let's see. Mostly in the area. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I see, I see, I see. So honestly, quarantine, it's got its ups and its downs. I'm just thankful it's 10 days. I don't know what it is in New Zealand, but overall, if you keep yourself busy in quarantine, if you give yourself stuff to do, if you give yourself tasks or like save things for quarantine. I taught myself Final Cut Pro in quarantine. And when I tell you, I spent hours watching YouTube videos on how to edit in Final Cut Pro and studying Final Cut Pro. I saved a video game that I never played. And brought it to quarantine. I didn't play it a lot. I was really busy learning Final Cut Pro and editing. But people will save books or like a TV series that they've always wanted to watch or movies that they want to watch. Save stuff for quarantine, and it makes quarantine go by so much faster when you're like excited. Like you're like, I bought this book, but I can't read it until quarantine. It's so much more exciting to like get to quarantine and be able to finally do the said thing. So keep yourself busy. And it's going to help because it helped my second quarantine go by relatively quickly when I was having so much, like I had an extreme panic attack the very first day because the no window thing. Um, but usually everywhere else has windows, so you don't have to deal with that quite as much. But definitely got easier as I was there. Do you have a hard time telling people you do YouTube? I always feel so strange telling people that's what I want to do. Yeah. So I go back and forth from like Korea to my parents' house because that's the only way I can save money during this time of like pursuing my dreams. I don't tell my friends. I don't tell my friends that I have a YouTube channel, but I mostly don't tell them because it messes the algorithm up. If I just tell random people that I'm watching YouTube or that I'm a YouTuber and I have random people watching my videos who don't care about Korea, um, it ends up hurting the channel more. So that's why I don't tell my friends. But it's also because it's like, what are people gonna think? Like, but overall, like, then people watch one of my videos or I talk about how I'm really passionate about it. And I have to remind myself that, like, why is it stupid? Or why is it uncomfortable? Why do I feel strange? It's probably a weird insecurity. And if I think of somebody else telling me that they're doing YouTube, I'm excited for them because if they're doing that, that means they're passionate about something. They're passionate about something so much that they want to put it on the internet. So maybe I think of it differently because I also do YouTube. But if someone thinks it's weird that I'm doing it, that's their issue. For me, I know so many people that I've been able to help, or I know so many people that I've been able to meet, or I just enjoy it. I have fun making videos. Like, I wouldn't make fun of somebody else for their hobby. That's their hobby. So I totally get what you're saying. It is awkward. I definitely have those times where they're like, what do you do? I'm like, I make, I help people out. I help people coming to Korea. Oh, how do you help people? I make YouTube videos. Like, I definitely sometimes beat around the bush. But um, at the end of the day, it's like I'm excited to do what I do. And I know future me is going to be like, girl, you went for that. And it was hard. And look, it was worth it. Um, I hope that kind of answers your questions, but I agree with what you're saying. It does feel strange, but I'm also trying to motivate myself at the same time. I plan to start YouTube when I move to South Korea. I hope I can. I can get subscribers a lot and get monetized for it. I wish I could say it was easy. It's not easy. So many other people come to South Korea and make videos too. It's really hard. What really sucks is that the videos that will blow up are usually couples. Like if you put like me and my boyfriend do something, it sucks that that is the case. But I guess a lot of people are just interested in knowing about couples in Korea. Hope, I know you are married. I would use that like to your advantage if you are looking to get monetized because you are married, and it's sucks because it's like you don't want to do something for just like the clickbait, but if you do want to make it something that you're monetized with and you do want it to be a job, like you gotta figure out like how can I do this genuinely and honestly? Um, but like also making videos on like how to meet, like how you met your Korean husband, like stuff like that. People want to fall in love with subscribers because of who they are. And so you have to make it searchable at the beginning. So the most popular video on Korea right now is moving to South Korea. If you put that in the title, people will watch. So that's a good way if you want to grow and in South Korea as like a YouTuber. Um, Day in my life is also decently popular, but like what I like and what I dislike about South Korea are extremely popular videos as well. And relationships, how to get in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, um, you shouldn't make it clickbait, but make sure it's like who you are. Make sure it's genuine. Don't do stuff just to clickbait. Don't make some, screen picture that is nothing about what the video is just to get a click, because then people will come off and then they won't watch the video, and that's worse. Because people are gonna be YouTube's gonna be like, oh, so people just clicked on and clicked off because you didn't actually provide what you said you would. And so now we're gonna put less of your videos in for people to see. So how many subscribers do you have now? I just hit should I just turn them back on? I feel like I should turn it back on. I have them off. I go back and forth because I get more views than I have subscribers. I get way more people watching my videos than are subscribed. And so if people see how many subscribers you have, they judge you like right away. But I have more views than most channels do. So I probably won't turn them on. But I don't mind telling you guys in the live, because I highly doubt that a brand is going to like watch this whole 1 hour and 51-minute live to be like, oh, you only have that many subscribers. But I just hit 3,000. I'm at like 3,030, I believe. And I started March 17th of last year. So that is huge. That is like literally when I gained 1,000 subscribers, I cried. Like I ran around and I cried and I was so happy. But then I just talked to someone a few days ago and they're like, yeah, I hit 12,000 in like 3 months and I can't believe my growth has been so slow. So you can't compare yourself to other people, guys. Your journey is different. Your journey is different. Your videos are amazing. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. You just have to make the algorithm know who you are, and you have to work on your channel. So the algorithm knows who you are and knows who to put your videos out to, and the subscribers and the love will come. I'm so sorry. I got a little bit distracted and I haven't looked at the comments. I'm sorry. I love how honest and sincere you are. Thank you so much. I try really hard to always be honest with you guys, no matter what. Own it. Your video is great. Thank you so much. Okay, let me go back up here. I missed. I hope you have a great time before you go back. Thank you so much. I am always going to have a great time in Korea. I did the same thing. I moved to New York without any plans other than becoming a model. Amen. Get it? Korean royalty. Unfortunately, I had to come home because of COVID. Everything closed. I know, right? COVID. I'm sure you can do it. I learned a lot from that experience, and I'm sure you too. Amen. The experience is worth it, right? Maybe it didn't go as planned, but there's so much that you learn along the way. And I'm so glad that you went for that, right? It's always better to go for something than to have thought like, man, I wish I would have always gone for that. You know what I mean? If you had to sneak a parrot through airport security, what would you do to it? That's a good question. If I had to sneak a parrot through airport security, I think I would put it in my bag, and then I would carry one of those other puppets, where you do this. So if he ever said anything, I would just start moving the mouth all of a sudden and pretend like I'm a ventriloquist. And even if the parrot is talking at the same time as me, people are going to be like, dang, she's really good at ventriloquism. Does that count as my answer? Quarantine is 10 days. Correct. Is it possible to become an English teacher or to get a job in Korea without a bachelor's degree? Sadly, no. Teaching, they expect you to have a bachelor's degree. You do not need to be fluent in Korean at all, but they do expect you to have a bachelor's degree if you want to be a teacher. If you test positive on arrival, you will be sent to a quarantine facility and mandated to stay there for 10 days. Okay, thank you. If you have a permanent residence in Korea, where you can isolate yourself. Yes, correct. I knew the second part, but good to know that there is a facility. You can apply for home quarantine process, such as a friend's house, but the requirements can be strict. Correct. Usually, they only allow people to you. So, if you're on a short-term visa, tourist visa, you cannot quarantine anywhere but a government facility quarantine unless you have parents or grandparents who are native, like Koreans who live in Korea and are considered Korean citizens. Then you are considered a Korean citizen, and then you can go and quarantine at that place. But if you're on a short-term visa, have to go to government facility quarantine. Long-term visa, you can go elsewhere. You go to an Airbnb and all that stuff if you're on a long-term visa. I see. If you develop severe symptoms during quarantine, you'll be sent to a COVID hospital. Interesting. Yep. Thankfully, the cases in Korea have gone down significantly, so the hospitals are getting opened back up, opening back up. Oh, New Zealanders don't have to do that quarantine after April. Interesting. I don't know what's happening with all these quarantine rules in Korea, but not ah, it's like I feel safe that there's a quarantine, but I know how hard it is. I don't know. I know a lot of my friends wanna travel and come back and not have to quarantine, but I just don't know if that's gonna be happening anytime soon. Our system at like a lottery ticket, you got to apply and hope you get selected, and if you miss out, they don't re-release, so you can end up stuck in a country. Oh my goodness. Such a messy system. Everybody see, COVID is new, right? This is all new for everybody. So nobody knows what's going on, right? Nobody ever knows what's best. We're always like every country is just trying to do their best. And some of them look ahead more, some of them look behind more, some of them look in the moment more. But usually we're all looking in so many different directions that everybody's coming out with these new rules and regulations, and then they change because something else changes. And so it's just really stressful for all parties, right, involved. Um, but it's going to be okay, right? We're going to keep adapting. We're going to keep adjusting. It's going to be hard. There's going to be things that are depressing. And there's going to be things that we're just like, we're here again, but we're doing this together. We're getting this through together. That's why in the comments of the last video that I just posted, if you guys haven't watched the video that I just posted and you have any questions about anything like regulations wise, it's a short video. So I would watch that right after this. But because I'm gonna go here soon. I usually go at like the 2 hour. If I live stream for 2 months, whoo, I usually leave around the 2 hour mark. And my throat we're hurting. But we're gonna get through this together. In the comment section of that video that I just posted, we're gonna keep each other up to date with where we can get booster shots and all of that jazz. We're gonna be in this together. And yeah, I thank you guys so much for those of you who tuned in today. This has been so much fun. I got way more distracted in this live. I haven't been able to talk with you guys in a while, so I got way more distracted in this live with the IM INFP thing. You know what I'm talking about? Personality types. I got way distracted with all of that. But I had so much fun talking with you guys, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate those of you who gave super chats. That literally meant so much to me. If you guys ever want to support my channel, I always have a link in the description for a website called Ko-fi. And that kind of describes more of like what my current state in Korea is. And I give special updates. I'm about to post a special update that only Ko-fi supporters are going to see. So if you're ever interested in that, check out the links in the description. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys had fun, and I hope that you guys learned something from this. Save my voice. I know I need to stop talking. Thank you guys so much for all the love in the comments, and I will see you in the next live stream. Until then, bye. I love you guys.